All right, we're continuing. With God's help, we'll conclude the sikha, the speech that the Rebbe gave in the beginning of 1992, Tavshin Nun Beit, about mishpatim and how it is a big sign that Moshiach is very, very close. And it's very disappointing and amazing and frustrating why he hasn't already revealed himself in such a way to redeem all the Jewish people, to stop all the problems and the troubles in the world and make peace in the world. But one little sign that it is possible to do so was that in 1992, right in the beginning, as they made a meeting in the United Nations and to make peace in the world, and there wasn't going to be any more wars. That was their goal, and that was their their declaration that they made, and that they were going to devote their money and their resources and their powers and their attention to making peace and to benefiting all mankind, and etc. Okay, it didn't last that long, but the idea was genuine. Well, at least when they did make it, it was genuine. It wasn't for any ulterior motives other than peace. I mean, that's the ultimate goal. Anyway, you can't have a better motive than that. So to make peace. So it wasn't the one power was trying to trick the other one or something. So that's what it was. And the Rebbe said that that this is a sign, number one, that it's possible, and number two, that there's something beginning over here, that the world is actually expressing their innermost desires and longing and goal in life, the ultimate goal, and that is that there should be peace in the world, so that people will be able to express their uniqueness and their potential. Well, if energy has to be devoted to war and to worry and to frustration and to fear and to trepidation and to guarding yourself and having to beware, you can't say hello to a person on the street because you're thinking maybe he's going to kill you. You can't open up your borders because all the weirdos and murderers and stuff will come through. So that's not good. It should be good. There should be a world that's open borders and with family, with children, with love and devotion. People value the proper things, and that's what this meeting was devoted to, and that's what Moshiach is going to bring. So okay, it got sort of derailed for a while, or whatever God's plan is. I have no idea, but nevertheless, it should be any instant now. And this is also hinted at. Oh, very good. Shalom. And this is also hinted at. Excuse me. That this is also hinted at in a very big way that we're coming close to the third temple. The third temple, because this is because this Parshat Mishpatim, it corresponds to the three books of the Talmud, which talk about damages, Baba Kama, Baba Metzia, Baba Batra, which are like three different stages in the building of the third temple, which will take away of all the idea of damages and problems and contention between people. And that's the whole idea of the third temple. The third temple is going to correct the first and the second. And in another way, you could say the third temple is going to be a correction for the first three temples. The first one was the tabernacle, which was in Israel for 480 years. And then the first temple was built, which was 410 years, and the second temple was 420 years. So this is going to be, the third temple will be eternal. It'll be, excuse me. So therefore, that's what the Rebbe said. We can see that this is, let's see, where is it? Okay, let's take it from here. From this, we can understand the greatness and the necessity to add now more in doing things that make the redemption come closer. Mekarim and Mazarism, and speed up actually the total redemption immediately really. So there's two things here. There's, first of all, there's the Moshiach. The Moshiach has sort of two stages. The first stage of Moshiach is identifying who this person probably is, and then the goal of the Moshiach. Right? The goal of the Moshiach. The goal of the Moshiach is to fight the battles of anything that comes to destroy or weaken or confuse Judaism, and then to build the third temple, and then to gather all the Jews together in Israel, to strengthen Judaism, to build a third temple, and all the Jews will come to Israel because the Jews will be strong. They'll want to do all the commandments, and the only way you can do it is when the third temple in Israel. That's one thing Mashiach is going to do. Mashiach is going to, that's to identify who the person is. But then there's the whole idea of the Geula. The Geula is what the Mashiach actually does, that he actually does these things. He actually does strengthen Judaism. He does educate everybody. But the main thing is that he will build the temple in Israel and draw all the Jews, bring all the Jews there. And then there's going to be total peace in the world. And that's what he says, but it hasn't happened. We can't understand why it hasn't happened. So it must be because everything in this world depends on us. That's how God made the world. God made the world, he put us in it because everything depends on us. Right? Don't ask me why he did it, but that's the whole story of the Bible. That God made a world and the world was going okay. And then he made man, and he put man in the world to improve the world. That was supposed to be the idea. And the only way you can improve the world is by adding something into the world that wasn't there in the world before, and that is free will. And to use his free will properly, that will determine the fate of the world. And so it is right now. If we see something's wrong with the world, it's because we're not using our free will properly. Don't blame somebody else. Blame only yourself. I have to blame myself that we're not using our free will properly. We have to do more in order to make the world a better vessel for this blessing that God is going to bring, this amazing thing called the Geula, put the right ideas in people's minds and etc. and right inspiration. First of all, what do we have to do? Do things, what it says in this week's Torah portion. Mishpatim means the individual laws between man and his fellow man. Mitoch shalom, in a way of peace. Don't make war. Somebody makes you mad, don't get mad. When somebody makes an argument with you, don't argue with the person, argue with the topic. Peshita Shlili, we see a lot of times now there is this big thing called Facebook. Right? I say Facebook. So Facebook is when an argument starts off on some topic, and then the topic becomes totally irrelevant. The topic doesn't make any difference what the topic is. It becomes what do they call it? I can't remember anyway. The topic is you're a fool, I'm a fool, you're a fool, you're an idiot, you're an idiot. They're arguing just about the person, right? They have a low IQ. You're the disgrace. I'm a disgrace. You're a disgrace. What do they call that? An argument called I forget the word, but stopped my mind. Anyway, so we're not talking about is the topic a true topic? Is it right? We're not even talking about is what the subject anymore. We're just talking about the person. Any person would say that. Okay, the fact of the matter is that stupid, crazy, insane people can say true things. It's also true, right? Decadent, the twisted people can say true things. It's possible, right? It happens sometimes. And there can also be people that are pure and that are good, and they can say wrong things. That's what the whole idea of the Talmud is. The whole Talmud is people that are totally pure and great, but they say things that are not according to the law. And there's big arguments between them, right? Not that they're not right. It says all the opinions are correct, but they're just not the way that the law is supposed to be. And that's the idea of argument. Argument is a very good thing, but hatred and this is that's what peace is. Peace is that you can talk to somebody, you can argue with somebody, and it's not going to become a what do they call it? An argument about people. I'll think what the word is. What do they call it? Yeah. Okay, anyway. Peshita shlilas hapcho, and for sure you have to there should be peace, and for sure there should not be war and hatred between one another. By means of this, Boa Geula will come the Geula. If you see a person that's a liar and a cheater and etc., how can you like the person? He says you don't have to like the person. You have to like the person, but not what he does. What he does has totally conquered his whole personality and his whole reputation and everything like that. So okay, he's making a lot of mistakes, and the mistakes have permeated him. But A person himself is good. You have to look for something good. Don't give him money, but you have to give him something. All your days by means of this will come to geula. In other words, you have to believe there is some essence good inside of everybody. Kumaimer is all like the rabbis say, but Marlas Mishpat. I mean, there are some cases where not. There are some cases where you see a person's coming to kill you. You can't say, well, I'll let him kill me because maybe last minute he'll stop. That's not the law of the Torah. You have to go according to the Torah. Even more, it says that somebody who comes to kill you, you should prepare to kill him first, right? You should go and prepare. Okay, so it says Tzion Livnet. It says by means of this is mishpat. There has to be the proper laws. You have to know what the Torah says, and by means of this, there will be peace in the world, and also Zion, Jerusalem will be rebuilt, like it says Tzion b'mishpat tepare, and also giving charity. That's another way to bring the future redemption. Give charity, do kindness. Kafurish, like it says in the Persian, in Kesef Talvei Atami. It's a sentence in our Torah. We did this, but we'll do it again. It's better to do acts of kindness than to give money. Do both. But still doesn't, if there's a case where a person is rich, it doesn't mean you can't do kindness with them. Sometimes the rich people are lacking more than the poor people. They're lacking more money than the poor people, and they're lacking more kindness than the poor people. They're lacking more money because a person that has $1 million, he wants another $1 million. A poor person on the street, he has $2, he wants another $2. So he's only lacking $2. The rich person is lacking $1 million. But everybody's lacking love, a good feeling, a good hello, good morning, boker tov, how are you? Like it says, Besugya, Baba Basra, and in Baba Basra. I just want to put an innuendo over here. It's a very interesting thing. I remember that I saw it. They made this experiment. They have these things. I really don't like these things, but they make them on videos. They send videos out on YouTube. And here was what they did was they took a person and they put glasses on him with a cane, like he's blind. And he's standing in front of a bus stop, and he's got $100 bill in his hand. And he asks people, excuse me, can you give me change for a 10? Can you give me change for a 10? They did it all these different places. Almost everybody stole from him. Almost everybody. They say, oh, sure. They took the 10 and they gave him a couple of dollars. One guy just took the $100 and ran away. They took him, ran away. They find one out of who knows of the people, one person say, my friend, you got $100. They did it in Israel. The guy had a 200 shekel note in his hand, and he asked people, could you give me? Everybody said to him, right, my friend, that's a 200 shekel note. Put it in your pocket. How much money do you need? Here, take money. Everybody said, every one of them said, right? Every single person. They did it like that. I guess they were trying to find somebody that said, no, every person said, listen, I'm sure that if they went to different places, they would find somebody who would take the money, would take the money. But they would have to look around. It was very interesting. It could be there's other places, but possibly in Japan, places like that also. I saw in Japan that the guy left a wallet and nobody took the wallet. Took the wallet, went into the store. I said, there's a wallet out on, and the man said, the owner of the store said, I know there's a wallet. Don't worry, the owner will come back. He'll get it. He'll get it. But you don't have to get it. So acts of kindness, doing things that are kind to people, helping people. Another thing is to give money to people. Like it says, like it says also in the Sugi and Baba Batra, it says in Baba Batra, it's also all these things are the commandment of charity. Main charity that it makes the geula come close, the redemption comes by giving charity. So if you usually don't give anything to poor people, give everybody a dime. You usually give a dime, give a quarter. Usually give a quarter, give $1. To Jews, to non-Jews. Like it says, Ko Amar Hashem, this is what God says, Shomer Mishpat Basut Tzedakah Krova Yeshuati Lavo. Do charity because it will save me, and also my salvation will come. It says that God is in exile when the Jews are in exile. God suffers. Called Sorotam Lotzar. It begins with the thing that with the Abraham Kanohug, like it's many places, that Motzi Shabbat and Kesef Talveh, they have a Malava Molka. After Shabbat, they make a big meal, they invite everybody, and they ask for donations for the charity society. They make sure they look around the whole community, people that need money. So they have this big thing of money, and they give to them in quiet. You give them, or they bring them groceries, whatever. It should be that there should be a good a gamach v'yachriz al malav malka, and announce there will be this meal motzi Shabbat. There was one with the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe. They also had in Chabad in Crown Heights. They had a free loan society. Free loan society. People would take loans and they would, give the loans back, but they were free. You could get a loan for $1,000, whatever it was. There was must be some sort of limit, but you didn't have to pay any. Of course, you didn't have to pay any expenses or anything. And so they came to the Rebbe, and they said, when the Rebbe took over in 1951, so they came to him and they showed him the records and how everything is, everyone's paying back their debts, and that the loan society hasn't got any, its books are balanced. And the Rebbe said, that's not good. He says, you have to be in debt. It has to be in debt. You have to give out more. You're not giving out enough. And so the Rebbe is like never happy with doing good, right? Doing good. That it's balanced and there's $10,000 there, and it should be that there's big debts there. You should be giving out more, looking around for people that want to take loans and giving out them loans, right? And people don't pay back, so collect more charity. Collect more charity so that people, everybody should give according to their generous hearts to the Keren Gamach, to what's called the fund of acts of kindness, Gemilas Chasadim. And also, and this is the main thing, that everybody should make a decree, a decision, a resolution. I'm trying to remember what that word is when the argument turns on. Okay, make this word immediately. Take if shachlata. This will bring the reward. Now, there's a very general thing that if you give charity, then God reacts and He gives it back to you. It's pretty amazing. And it says you can even test God with charity. You say, okay, I'm giving charity on the condition that my son gets better. The Talmud says, how can you do a thing like that? You're making conditions with God. It says, because a Jew, if he makes a condition, he gives charity. Let's say his car breaks down, right? And he gives charity that he should get money for a new car, and he gives charity and he doesn't get money from a new car. So he says, a Jew will say, listen, at least I gave charity. At least I gave charity. And by this means, by giving charity, and even making the decision that you're going to give with the intention of actually doing it, this will bring the redemption. Take over miyad mamash immediately. Sha'az, then there'll be a real malav malka, a real meal after Shabbat. Will be the meal of David Moshiach, and we'll join also the Nasi Doreinu, the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, who is the leader of our generation. He's the Moshiach of our generation, and he'll be at the head. And it'll be, where will the meal be? It'll be in the Holy Land, in Jerusalem, in the holy city, in the holy temple. It's like it says in the beginning of the Masechet of Baba Batra Shutafim, partners, that they want to make a wall, and the partners, they're talking about partners, and they agree. We're talking about that the relationship between one person and another should be in a way that everyone is partners. Everyone wants in the good of the other person. And how much more so when people nowadays when we see that in the United Nations, that all of the nations in the world, they're making a declaration of unity, that each one will try to benefit the other one. And by means of this, we'll build a wall. It says, what type of a wall? So in the beginning of the Talmud of Baba Batra, so it talks about building a wall. What type of stones do you use? So one type of stones are gazit, stones that are like hewn out. The Yesh Lomar, we can say that this hints at the building of the third temple. The third temple will be built, like it says over in the Sugya, gazit avnei the mashve. It says that they carved out these stones, like it says, kol ela avanim yakoros kamidas gazit. They are the measure of gazit. Gazit is like, what is it, 6 inches wide or something. This is, I need glasses. Medubar is talking about the second temple, which is which is greater than the first temple in size and in length and in time. It's bigger in size, and it was also lasted 10 years longer. Like it says, like it says that greater will be this last temple, greater than the first one. That this is talking about the second temple, but it's also talking about mainly about the third temple, like it says in the Zohar. The Zohar explains it. And continue to this also in Parshas Truma. That's next week. We're reading Parsha Truma, that we read this mincha. It says, make me a holy temple and I will dwell among you. This begins with the you, and not that I will dwell in it, but that I will dwell in you, inside of each and every Jew. Every single Jew is a holy temple. It doesn't say inside of it, I will dwell inside of it, but inside of each and every one. Every single Jew, like we learned in Bati Lagani, remember they learned the mimer? That the sacrifices means to come close to God, korban, to come close to God, and the shitim wood that was there means you have to be crazy. That you become a holy temple, your house becomes a holy temple, your room, that it becomes a play, your house becomes a house of Torah and prayer and good deeds. Transform your whole house, including and especially like joining together and widening your the synagogue, the shuls, and the places of learning, and away for yichuli truma, to give money to Torah learning, gold, silver, copper, all the 13 things, or some say 15 things that we use in the Holy Temple. It depends how you divide up the cloths. If everything is listed, but you could say that some things are you can divide into two categories of one. In any case, there are 15, let's say, different items that were used, materials that were used to build the tabernacle. And by means of this, using the physical things for spiritual, for godly things, as you will hurry up and mazarzim and speed up and make immediately that there will be the third temple will actually built really. And the empowering especially is now. God gives us a special power to do this. Inspiration, power, ability, confidence. Nosef alamayla, in addition to the quality, the special of the month of Shvat, which that's the month we're in now, we're finishing it, the 11th month, as we come now also to the 25th day of this month. This 25th day of the month, okay, now today it happens to be we're on the 30th day of the month. And when the Rebbe was giving this speech, it was, I think, the 23rd day of the month, I think, when the Rebbe, that was Shabbat. So the dates don't exactly, because the Rebbe gave the speech 32 years ago. So the dates don't exactly correspond with the days of the week like it does this year. But in any case, the Rebbe said, let's talk about the days of the month of Shvat. We have the 25th day, the 25th each and every day, and this, of course, applies to every month. The number 25, when you're the 25th day of the month, everything you see and everything you experience in this world, you can make up some connection to the Torah. Are you right? Are you not? If it's positive, then it's good. If it's positive, then it's good. Right? Maybe there's something more positive. Maybe you're off in the wrong direction. Maybe it could be. Right? But if it's a positive thing, then it's good. That's a story I'll tell you today. Okay. We'll see if. What's that? Just 1 second. Okay. Yes. So it says, let's take the dates of the month. Not 25, the 25th day of the month means ko tavarachu et bnei Israel. That's the blessing of the Kohanim, to bless all of the Jewish people with love. That's the blessing that the Kohanim make. That when they pay the prayers, with love, specifically with love. The idea of the Kohanim, the Kohanim, the priests, they're called. It's a priest. It's not the Kohanim is to bring a blessing of love to everybody. Similar, that's ko. Similar is also the same thing. The blessing of the Kohanim should bless also every single Jew. All the Jews are called Kohanim. All the Jews are called the nation of priests. We should bless each other. And in the beginning of every day, after the blessings of the Torah, that you have to say, with a regesh, with feeling of love of the Jews, in the blessings that we make in the morning. So there's one blessing we make on the Torah, a blessing that we make on the Torah, and after we make the blessing on the Torah, then we say this sentence from the Torah. You have to supposed to say a sentence. You made a blessing on the Torah. You make a blessing on something, you have to do it. So we made a blessing on learning on the Torah, and so you say the sentence in the Torah, which is talking about from the book of Numbers, about how the Kohanim bless, how the Kohanim bless the Jewish people. And so we should bless, each one should bless the other one. When you see a person, give him a blessing. The purpose of the Jewish people is to bring blessing to the world. That's what God said to Abraham. So you meet a person, doesn't make any difference when you leave, God bless you. Like it says also in the conditions of this, and also even more before the prayer, say to each Jew, before you start to pray, you're supposed to say this sentence: behold, I accept on myself the commandment in the Torah. It's one of the 613 commandments, one of the 248 positive commandments. Love every Jew like yourself. Like it says, Rabbeinu Zaken in the Siddur, that's equal. It says, which is equal to everybody. Everyone should say the sentence before you start praying. If you don't have love of every Jew, then your prayers are selfish, because you're supposed to be praying for everybody. But it also, Ve'ikra, and the main thing is the blessing of the priests. This includes in it all of the blessings, but Tachlis Hashem is in the ultimate way. There's all the other blessings that you make, the blessing that the Kohanim just adds on to that. Hey, in the Maila, the brachas, whether we're talking about the blessings that you give, or the prayers that you make, and especially the blessing, the main blessing. What's the main blessing? Is the blessing of the Geula Mitis Vashlema, that there should be immediately the biggest blessing of all, the total redemption of the whole entire world from ignorance and from hatred and from depression and from this, Vashlema immediately. Okay, after that was the Ko Tavarachut. That's the 25th day of every month, contains in it this hint at blessing, because that's how the blessing of the Kohanim start. Ko Tavarachut, this is what you should, how you should bless the Jews. After that, it's a sentence in the Torah, right? And after that, we have the 26th day of the month. 26th day of the month, that's 26 is the numerical value of God's name. Yud and 2 Hays, that's 20, and Vav is 6, 26. 26 is the numerical value of God's name. Shekashur, this is connected to the previous day before it, of the Ko Tavarchu, of the blessing that was given to the Jewish people by means in the Holy Temple. The Holy Temple, they used to bless with God's name, which is not the case right now. We don't say God's name. We say Aleph, Daled, Nun. But then they used to say God's name, starting with the Yud. The preparation of this is by means of the service of the Jewish people, in a way that it says, "V'shiviti Hashem negdi tamid," I should put God before me always. In other words, God is not just this force that creates me, but God also cares about what I do. And this should be in front of my eyes always, because we're in front of God's eyes always. Even now in the time of exile, that by means of this, as we speed up and we hurry, the revelation of God, the Creator, in the whole world, and God's love will be revealed in the whole world by means of and through the revelation of the blessing of the Kohanim in the Holy Temple. Just like I am written, so I will be called. And after that is the 25th day of the month. That's this Shabbat. Back then it was Shabbat, but this Shabbat is going to be Rosh Chodesh. The 27th day of the month, that's Zach, pure. That's talking about the pure olive oil. Shemen Zayed Zach. Lalot Ner Tamid. This is the pure olive oil that was used in the menorah. The menorah Zav, the pure golden menorah that was in the temple, that is hinting at the unifying of all of the different types of Jews, 7 general different types of Jews, unifying them all in the stabs of the menorah to give light. After that is the 28th day, Koach, power. Adding power and additionally power to the Jewish people. And after that, the day before Rosh Chodesh, that happens to back then. It was Tuesday, whatever. Now it's today. Now this is talking about now. That's Erev Rosh Chodesh, which is the preparation for Rosh Chodesh, when the moon is going to be brand new, after it was concealed in the end of last month. This shows on what? A renewal of the Jewish people, that the Jewish people are going to become renewed just like the moon. And the Geula Mitish Lema and the true new redemption. And that's really happening now. You see, I'm telling you, in Israel, like I said, I go out every day nowadays. Since the war started, every day I go out for a half an hour, three-quarters of an hour to this nearby hospital, and I just stand outside and I put tefillin on people. And the reaction to people, first of all, people put on tefillin you would never dream put on. And people put on tefillin they say that they've never put on before. And people put on tefillin now that they say, I've stopped. Oh, I had last time I put on tefillin 30 years ago. And the people that say no, they say with a smile. They say, no, thank you very much. I say, God bless you. I think I told you the day before, one guy cursed me out. He said, get rid of those tefillin. Who cares about those old antiquated stuff? Be real. Get out of here with those tefillin. I said, okay, God bless you. They should have only good news. The guy was walking, was in a huff. He was all angry. I said, God bless you. Have good news. He turned around and he looked at me and he said, that I needed. A blessing I needed. That I needed. I said, put on tefillin. He said, no way, I'm not. In other words, the world is changing all of a sudden. The Jewish people are changing from the inside. This shows on the renewal of the Jewish people like the moon, little by little, in the future redemption. And especially when Rosh Chodesh comes on, okay, it fell then on Tuesday. Doubled and redoubled, okay. And this is especially, now what we're doing is we're blessing. What month is it? Every month it shows that the Jews are renewing. This is the month of Adar. Adar, it says, is the month when the luck of that month is healthy. Mazel, the zodiac of that month is healthy. Borim Mazli. This is the month of Adar, is the month that's transformed from bad to good, that's transformed from misery to joy. A simcha gedulas purim, the joy of the redemption from Purim, like it says, mismach geula legeula. We try to, like this year, and I think it was that year also. The Rebbe was speaking. There was two Adars, but in Judaism, there is the calendar goes according to the moon and the sun. The sun meaning that when the month of Nisan comes along, Passover, it always has to be in the spring. If you make the calendar only according to the moon, like the Arabs do, then their holidays can come out all at different times of the year because it's nothing to do with the sun. So it comes with the moon and the sun. How can it be the same? How can it be? So every 3 years, approximately, they add another year. Another month is added on. And that month that's added on is always the month of Adar. Adar is a month of happiness. It's a month where we were redeemed from a decree, the worst decree ever on the Jewish people, to kill all the Jews in one day, and the Jews got out of it. Miraculous thing. So first of all, it's instead of 30 days of happiness, like every month is 30 days, when it's a double month, so it's 60 days of happiness. So we say bittul b'shishim, that all the bad things are negated in 60. That's a principle in Torah law. But also it says, when do we make this holiday celebrating the redemption from Haman? We make it close. Which one? On the first Adar or on the second Adar? So it says, well, the first Adar, that's really the 12th month of the year. That's the 12th month of the second Adar. That's the 13th. So we should make it on the first Adar. It says, no, we make it on the second Adar, even though it's the 13th month of the year, not the 12th. And it says in Megillah, you make it on the 12th month. Chodesh Shtei Masar or Chodesh Adar. So, but we make it on the second month. Why? Because it's right next to Nisan. Nisan is when we got out of Egypt. So he says, Mismach, we approximate, that's a word, we try to make close one redemption to the other. Juxtapose, that's a word. Ad hominem, that's the word. I remembered, ad hominem. Ad hominem means you're arguing about a subject and you realize that you're losing, so you change the subject to the person. Right? To the person. You're accusing me of stealing? You're a big stealer. Don't change the subject. The fact is you're a thief. I'm a thief. You're a thief. You're a liar. You're a thief. Let's get back to the subject. You're a thief or are you not a thief? You're accusing me of being a thief. I am accusing you. And that's called ad hominem. You change the topic from instead of being objective to being subjective. My subject of that's what it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about now. I just remember what I said before. Anyway, Purim to Pesach. It says that Purim has to become close to Pesach. I will show you miracles. You want to come, that's going to be the future redemption. There will be a true redemption of the Jewish people immediately after the redemption of Purim. And then we can add on that this idea of making one redemption, the redemption of Purim, coming close to the redemption that was on Passover, this is talking about the second udder, which is next to Nisan, which is not the first udder, which that's what we're going into now. And about it, that's when we say the blessing of the month that we're going to make, that the Rebbe was making back then, and we're making now. We can say that that's relevant to udder, which is next to Shvat. What's the big thing of udder that's right next to Shvat? Because Milashana, Mishnah, from the language of the Mishnah, it says, Ein bein udder rishon udder sheni, ela kriyas Megillah umatanoti avyonim. It says the only difference between the first udder and the second udder is udder rishon and udder sheni. Udder rishon is in the second udder we read the Megillah and we give gifts to matnot avyonim. This implies that everything else, that namely we're talking about the geula. So the second month is the month of the second udder is the month of redemption, right? Second month. What about the first udder? Is not the month of redemption? So he says, yeah, it must also be the month of redemption, because it says the only difference between the first udder and the second udder is that the second udder we celebrate Purim, we read the Megillah, we give gifts to the poor. And as far as the redemption, it must be that they're same. And even more, since that it's called Adar, the name of the Adar is, and it's called Rishon, it's called the first one. So therefore, it's logical to say that the first one is higher than the second one. It's more important. It's the first. Like it's explained also in the seventh day of Adar, which is connected to the decree of Haman. What did Haman do? Haman decided he had the power to destroy all the Jews, but he knew that the Jews are always getting out of things. And they got out of Egypt, they defeated Amalek. So Haman decided he was going to throw his decision on to the winds. He was going to put it in the hands of something other than his own logic and his own reasoning. And so he threw lots. And he thought then it's going to be a matter of luck. This is above any sort of logical thing. And maybe I got a chance to defeat the Jews. If I do it logically, I saw what happened to Paro, I saw what happened to Amalek, didn't work. I'm going to make lots. So he was a clever guy. So he said he peeled poor, he threw lots, and it came out on the month of Adar. Came out on the 13th month. I'm sorry, on the 12th month. So he said, wow, this is great. The 12th month, that's the month when Moses died. Moses died on the 7th day of Adar. So, and he didn't know that on the 7th day of Adar, Moses was also born. But in any case, the whole idea of the month of Adar, the first Adar, that was the first Adar, it was the 12th month. Similarly, we find in many things that Adar, whenever it talks about Adar, it's talking about the first Adar. That's the Adar that we're going into now, right? In addition to that, also in the Shabbat Mevorchim, the Shabbat that we bless, that was last Shabbat, we bless according to the Torah, which says the custom, Rosh Chodesh Adar Rishon, we say which day it's going to be. Hari Keshiyavo Moshiach, when the Moshiach comes immediately, and if he comes before Rosh Chodesh, this the Rebbe was speaking, it wasn't Rosh Chodesh yet. It wasn't Rosh Chodesh Adar yet. And then, well, when Moshiach comes, it says the third temple will be built, and then we'll start to sanctify the months, not according to the set calendar that was made about 200 years after the temple was destroyed by a rabbi called Hillel, not the known Hillel. He made a set calendar so that we don't sanctify the months according to how it says in the Torah. How does it say in the Torah? In the Torah, it says, the reason is because there's no Sanhedrin. So how do we sanctify the months according to the Torah? People would look up at the sky when it came to the end of the previous month, and they would to see the moon. There was only 1 of 2 days you could see the moon. If they saw the moon early, then they would run to the court, which was in the Holy Temple, and they would be interrogated if what they saw was really real. Maybe they were making it up. Maybe they made a vision, and then the court would decide At the Holy Court would decide this Rosh Chodesh. It's in the Talmud in Rosh Hashanah. This is according to Riyah. They would sanctify according to seeing. Then it could be that the place of the Sanhedrin will be only the Sanhedrin will say it's only the first udder. Sheyu rak udder echad zeh. It could be that instead of having two udders, it'll only be one udder, and that udder will be the udder that's right next to it. Okay, okay, so what are we saying? We're saying that now is the month of happiness. We have to use this happiness and utilize this happiness in order to bring the geula, future redemption. And he said, and it could be, according to some opinions, that even this first udder could be the month of redemption. However, it is the redemption has to come immediately right now, and it all depends on us. May it be God's will, and this is the main thing, that the true redemption by means of the Moshiach will come actually, immediately, now. And certainly, it's not necessarily, we shouldn't have to wait until the month of Nisan, and also we won't even have to wait to the second udder. And also we won't even have to wait for even this udder, right? In other words, tomorrow. Right now is the 30th day. Today is the 30th day of the first udder. The 30th day of Shvat. I'm sorry. Today is the 30th day of Shvat. Tomorrow is going to be the first day of udder. Says the Rebbe, we shouldn't have to wait for even that first day of udder. Mashiach should come immediately. It should come now, immediately at the end of the month of Shvat. It should come. He should have come on the 27th day of Shvat. And especially the Shabbat today after Chatzot, Suda Shlishit. Anyway, the Mashiach, this is talking about the dates, which don't exactly coincide with now. So it should be actually, Mashiach should come immediately. In Kala Pirushim, with all the explanations of what Miyad immediately means. Miyad, including what we said that with the Miyad is Mem, Moshe, Yud, Yisrael Baal Shem Tov, and David. And also the other explanations that are meant, all these three are connected to the Mashiach. The Rebbe also said the same thing, that Miyad is Daled Dovber. That was the sixth Rebbe of Chabad. That was the fifth Rebbe of Chabad, Dovber. His son, Yud, Yosef Yitzchak, he was the sixth Rebbe of Chabad. So Dovber, that's the fifth. His son was the sixth. And the Rebbe said, and Mashiach Menachem Shemo, that's the seventh Rebbe of Chabad. That's the Rebbe. That's the Mashiach Menachem Shemo. That's also Miyad. Mashiach is the Rebbe, Yosef Yitzchak, and Dovber. All these three immediately, Mashiach should come. All the explanations of that, and also explanations of the word mamash, really. Some people say mem shin is Menachem Mendel Shin. Ulachal, the Rosh, immediately mamash, actually, really, mamash, really, physically, actually, in this world, it should happen. We should stop talking about it and when is it going to be, and what we should do to bring it. It should be a thing that's already, the Jews have suffered enough. Mashiach now. Okay, so what do we learn? Do charity, be kind, do acts of kindness. We have power, say good things, do good things, think good things, especially think about Mashiach is supposed to come any moment. Be tremendously disappointed and broken and crushed that the Mashiach has not come. But understand the only way to bring Mashiach is by being happy and positive. As we'll talk about, God willing, on Yom Rishon. And now let's do the Yom Yom. How do we do this? Oh, here we go. So stop the share.